Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sophisticated Ignorance. I am Simone.
And I am Steven, and we got special guests in the building today.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, we introducing ourselves. You know, I was like, I'm gonna just jump in. I'm gonna wait. You know, do it. Well, I'm Brandon Harrison here with DJ. I mean, he can introduce himself as well, but we're co-hosts of Two in a Bottle podcast. What's the tagline, DJ? Drop it for him.
The old one?
Oh, okay. Whatever.
Mildly informed conversation over libation. I think that's what we started with.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But you know, we like to live in Ciroc commercial. So,
Okay.
Yeah. I like that.
So I guess y'all could dig into like who y'all are individually, like what they all do professionally.
Us people reveal ourselves. So first and foremost, we went to college together, so we went to Morehouse. So
nice.
That's what's up.
Came up and sort of decided, yo, you're good at talking shit. Like, I can say shit, right? I can swear all I want.
Yeah.
I know that. I just like to do that as a podcaster. Can I swear? Like,
yeah, it's very formalized.
So it's sort of how we sort of get good rapport. You know, like talk shit. Very, specific sort of candor that we get along. And so I graduated a couple years before DJ, and then ended up back in New York and like, let's make the pod happen. Yeah, but individually, I'm a writer and filmmaker, so I write for very smart brothers and Root sometimes, and I do short docs at the Brooklyn Film Festival.
Okay.
Yeah, and other random things. That are
yeah,
like, too many random things. Yeah, but like I like to say, I'm out here doing things and stuff.
Yeah, he's a dabbler.
Yeah, I'm a dabbler. I like that.
I think we all are.
Gotta dabble.
Yeah, because we all trying to just figure shit out. So for whatever is like catching your attention at that moment, you'll just go 100% in on that, and then you either make it or break it, and then if that don't work, then you just move on to the next one.
Gotta hit that mark, right? Throw them darts.
Yeah.
Brandon gave us a little spiel. Mine is a bit more narrow and square, I guess, in terms of professional vocation.
Professional.
Right.
More professional.
Yeah, I work at technology at an investment bank, in short. I don't want to put my whole lifestyle out on the internet, but that kind of sums it up.
So you don't have like any reservations about when you started the show, and it was like, I hope my coworkers don't hear any of this content.
Yeah, you definitely got to get past that bit of those reservations, but I stand on what I'm talking about, what we represent, so I don't mind it. Although I'm not marketing to my manager and coworkers, you feel me?
Gotcha.
But at this point, I think in the society of today, and as we're going forward, it's kind of like your internet persona, your in person persona, they live along parallel lines, but if they interact, then they interact, and you just gotta deal with it. At some point, somebody's gonna be elected for president or whatever, and they're gonna have some wild shit on their Instagram from 30 years ago. So like, what are you gonna do about it?
If anybody said that we did something flagrant on the podcast, I would just say it was me.
Just take the fall.
I mean, if it's my voice, I don't know. I mean, I would just have to deal with it as it is. Sometimes you get in whatever conundrum.
So what made y'all start podcasting? Or did we answer that already?
Somewhat.
So how did you come up with the name?
How do we come up with the name?
It's actually contentious at this very moment, but
yeah, it's contentious. We're going through a bit of rebranding. I don't know if it's giving a little bit too much away, but in short, we already had the rapport, and we both had been into just the podcasting platform in particular, and we were just honestly like, yo, let's do a podcast, and I was like, yo, let's just call it like Two Niggas in a Bottle. Everybody likes to. I think the original tagline was gonna be like, sip and talk shit, I guess.
I mean.
Wasn't it?
The thing really was we wanted to do a podcast and we didn't have a name yet.
Yeah, it didn't really have a name.
Let's get it popping.
Just slot something real quick, and we rode with that and kind of built out a bit of a mini brand around it. Essentially, at the beginning, we reviewed a alcoholic beverage every week, and that became that was like what the podcast was based around, and then it would branch off into obvious topical commentary and conversations. Over time, because we've been doing this over the course of about a year plus, we deviated from that a bit. So now, like, we have topical combos, but it's not as much about, we have this, Japanese whiskey, and we would do a whole profile about it. So it would be the two of us talking about a bottle, in this case. That's even still on our, what you call it, avatar, our cover. So that was really, that's really where the name came from.
That sounds like guys get to drink?
Yeah. I mean, some of the early episodes we used to get kind of like,
She
Listen,
skipped
like-
all of that. It was like, I wonder if they drink.
It's not. I wouldn't suggest it. I wouldn't
Yeah,
suggest it because
yeah.
like we like episode about 1 through 10. I'm like, yo.
Yeah, we used to have like Slizzard.
Yeah,
like,
you
no-key,
never
like,
seen
by the end of the pod, you be like, yo.
You never seen an episode
Sorry,
I fuck with Drink Champs, but I
Right.
can't watch it
Yeah.
because
I
after a
love
while, Noriega is done.
sloppy.
Yeah,
Done. Like he's
Exactly.
slurring words. He's
Yeah.
not making full sentences. It's like, yo, all
100%.
right, time to
Yeah.
cut this off.
Yeah,
That's the best
because they be
part,
too long, so they be
though.
like 2.5 hours.
Start
Like, yo,
drawing
Yeah.
on. Yeah. We wouldn't try to go that hard, but it affects
Of course.
anybody and everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, over the course of like an hour-long pod, towards the end, it starts to.
Yeah, because you
Something
talking,
like
so you don't even realize how many
Definitely
drinks you
don't realize
taking.
it.
Yeah.
It always comes down to like that stand up. The first time you stand up and you've been sitting at the bar, you be like, oh shit. Yeah. Drinking for a minute, but yeah, that's where it came from. That's still kind of the heart of it, but we're actually a bit moving out of that for a variety of reasons. One, this is a startup pod and it costs money, a good $20, $30, $40
just
a
to
week
have liquor
to get a different bottle
Yeah.
of liquor.
Mhm.
And the sponsors that we have, they were able to contribute on a weekly basis.
Oh, they trash. That's really fucking
Accurate.
trash.
Accurate in
How
a
you
certain
want
type
me
of
to
way.
help you? You ain't helping me get lit. Like that does not make sense.
I will say that we had a few that like really did like come through and like
Oh, for
we
sure.
had like a drink mixing company
Yeah.
that came through with like their mixes and let us like have it. We had like a Harlem Blue beer came through and like gave
Yeah,
some
shout
beer,
out
some
to Harlem
glasses
Blue.
and
That's
everything.
what's
That's nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was definitely interesting. But
That's
you
cute.
know, we have different interests and whatnot, so it kind of just sort of veered off of that.
Yeah, and I would say through this experience and as you guys most definitely know, just that week in week out grind of consistently doing it is just very difficult to keep something like that up unless you always have an infusion of more alcohol or more money to go buy something random. So yeah, I think that sums it up though. Pretty good.
Yay! I like that answer. Okay, Steve.
So I guess well the reason we're here is like I asked before is like we all making commentary in the podcast world,
For sure.
and then we all have our business lives that we have to partake in, and sometimes when those intertwine, you may have issues with that. Like I just actually seen a girl who has her own podcast, and she actually just got fired from her job because she did a video for what was it for the Dick Challenge.
Oh, I did.
And she made a reference to, I think she said, like, at the last line, she said something about cracker. And then they brought her to the office.
Brought it to the office.
They brought her to the office. It's like, yeah, we no longer want you working here or whatever. So I feel like, I guess what we're going to be discussing today is, like, has the world gotten too sensitive when it comes to, like, commentary? Because there's, like, a difference between something that's, like, really overtly offensive and then something that's, like, yo, it's just, a joke. So it's like, I guess that's what we're going to be trying to dig into today.
Yeah,
definitely.
In that case, that sounds like an HR type issue, right?
So let it go.
Can you challenge
It's like,
that?
why are you following me on Instagram in the first place?
Right, that's what I
Right.
mean. Like, was she, dabbling a little too hard on both sides? Were all her coworkers and
Yeah.
somebody that was a little too square following her, and then
Possibly.
they felt a little uncomfortable
Offended.
by
Because they probably felt a way about her getting hired in the first place.
maybe
That's
Right.
A long plot waiting
Right.
for her to do something.
And then bam, got you, bitch. That's usually how it goes down.
Exactly.
Low key though.
So I guess we'll start off with, like, has society gotten too sensitive?
Yes, because I find myself editing a lot of things that I say. Because if you're like my friend, you really know me. I legit say whatever the fuck is on my mind. I'll be like, ooh, now bitch, you probably shouldn't have said that out loud. Especially when it comes to the gay community. I feel myself always thinking about what to say, how to say it. Am I saying it the right way? Then you have, race being a big thing now. So now you have to worry about not only are you offending, another race, but are you offending someone within your race too? Because then you have black people who's just like fake woke, how we like to say. You have those, and then everything you say is offensive. So now you find yourself tiptoeing through conversations with people.
Now, is this usually through like social media?
No, I'm not. I don't
Public?
be on social media as
good.
much.
Good.
That's good.
But in real life,
Safe.
in real life, when I'm trying to have conversations with people, even if it's just about like fucking sex, people get offended when you say certain things. And I don't know why that is. When did that happen? Everybody fucking feelings is hurt all the goddamn time.
Well, I think shockingly, because I think now we have social media, everybody has an opinion. So now that's even trickled down to behavioral patterns outside of social media.
Right.
So now the way somebody acts about on social media when they see somebody post something, it's like, oh, this offends me. Now they're translating that to real life. It's like now the conversations they used to have out in the open, now they analyzing that shit too, and they nitpicking and like, nah, you can't say that, or this offends me, and it's like, bro, you gotta fucking relax.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate, especially with the whole social media angle. It's because, like, I used to, I feel like, be on Twitter way more. Even like when I was in college, you go on Twitter when things are popping. Oh, everybody's going back and forth and whatnot. But now, if you're not on that, you wouldn't even. I don't even know half the time when something is an issue. It's like, oh, so and so is mad about this or mad about that, or this is a. I'm like, is that people are mad about that? Like, I didn't know that was going on. But if you're living on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, and you see people flaring up, you would be more nervous to say certain things, or because you think that every 2 days it's an outrage about something. So yeah, it's definitely probably a big part of the angle. I don't know if it's people are more PC or just more aware and then
I think
subsequently scared.
I think they're more aware, because now it's like you may say something freely before, and now in the back of your head it's like, okay, they may take that one piece and then flip it to something completely different, and depending on who you are, that may be detrimental to the rest of your life.
For sure.
Is there a line that you should be careful without crossing when it comes to certain things? Like, imagine you sit at the table for holidays, fucking holidays around.
Right.
You sitting there
Which
and
one?
you have
Thanksgiving or Christmas?
It doesn't. It's just. Well, I don't know what people.
There
you go.
He trying to set the scene,
right? There I go. Like, I don't know if people celebrate. You see how that happened a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's take the holiday season.
Holiday.
What about Kwanzaa?
Holiday season, all right? Holiday season, and you're sitting around with your family and y'all talking, and then, religion come up, or politics come up, money, education, stuff like that causes, like, really big debates. And what I usually like to say is, I'm not going to discuss education, religion, and money with certain people. I feel like those three things are when the lines get a little too crossed, when the discussion gets really heated, and that's when people often get defensive. What is your question?
Education.
Right.
I don't hear many people say that like it's a major beef component. The other two, religion and money. Why you feel like education is like one of those things?
Some people don't think that school is necessary.
And it's contentious.
Some people, I wouldn't go that far, but look how it is nowadays. You have more people being entrepreneurs and actually going to school, getting degrees, and having careers, and they're both very successful.
Yeah, because there's people that look down upon people that haven't had a college degree or do the whole freelancing.
Or they feel like because you didn't go to school and get those degrees, then you don't know what it is to do hard work.
Right.
And I get that a lot. And it's like, scary bitch, I was pre-med. Like, relax, it's like, multifaceted here, chill out. But it's, I don't know. What do you think it is?
I have to agree. And even with the people that are educated, somebody with a fucking master's may look down upon or feel a certain way about people that just only have an associate's.
And that's always a topic too. A lot of people get into arguments about that. Like, oh, you feel like you're better than me because you got this degree, or you're fucking lazy because you couldn't finish school. Yeah. Like, it's always...
What did Kanye say? Those degrees. Keep you warm at night.
That's always, like, the debate. But,
I think you always just have to pay attention to probably just nuance and also respect for whomever you're talking to, right? So if we all have to, I guess, like have think before you speak, I guess. That there may, we all have to do a bit of self-policing. I guess we're now aware of a few more quote-unquote boundaries that are in place, or at least that bring about contentious things. But we all participate in a specific society that has their own norms and morals. So right now we're at a point where it's changing in a lot of different ways and being accelerated by a lot of different facets, socioeconomically and technologically. So we're still going through these awkward phases of trying to figure out like what's okay to talk about in a certain way and what's not. But I always like try to say if people just kind of scale back and sober up a little bit, try to present the argument the best way. If you're coming from a real like contrite position and can stand on what you're saying, then whoever the other party is, they really gotta respect it. To me, you know, like if you're really being trilling 100% about what you're saying, if you really believe what you're saying, and you're not trying to be disrespectful to the other person, then I don't really see what the issue is.
People be starting shit. Cause I
think
about
it.
Think about sometimes.
I mean, that was cute. But
I just think about sometimes, you know, because we talk about PC, and that's real. Sometimes people talk down to other people, but part of it is you could think about times where somebody said something to you, and you know, people back in the day or whatever, we could say more things. You like let it roll off your back, but you're like, yo, that was mad reckless. Like there's some people you say something that was really reckless, and now I don't know. It's two sides, I guess.
that leads us into our next point. Has there been anything in your life that you let slide because it was kind of like funny? Like, have you ever been offended, but you just like, okay, and you just laughed it off? 'Cause I feel like that happens a lot. For me personally, sometimes the shit will go up in my head, and I'll text Steven like, I think someone just tried to be shady. I'm not sure.
Yep. Because I think women are worse when it comes to that shit.
You know, a lot of times it's not women who say it, be men.
Really?
Yeah. It be men like real old, I call them old hoes. It be them old hoes. They be trying my whole existence. They be trying my spirit, and I can't.
Anything in particular?
Well, yeah, like, can you explain that?
It's old hoes.
Give us an example.
All right, so I work in a salon-based shop or whatever, and you're not allowed to eat in there. You're in there, you're getting pretty and stuff. Like, we don't want to smell your fucking chicken fingers, and, you know, you have kids running around dropping shit on my floor. So I said, sorry, ma'am, you know, you can't eat in here. The lady was fine. Her sister had the issue. She was like, oh, she hating on me. What are you? Ma'am, I just don't want you to eat in here. It's like little shit like that old people just like to fuck with me on. When it comes to men, I feel like men give a lot of backhanded compliments sometimes, and you kind of just be like,
that's because niggas is ignorant in general.
Well, I mean, there's that. There's that.
They don't even realize what they're doing. They
And
just
to
ignorant.
to keep myself from saying certain things and, you know, trying to, you know, turn the other cheek, I guess, I just smell it off like, oh, okay, whatever. So it's been times when I just smelled shit off. I'm like, just so I won't have to argue with nobody or go back and forth.
That's real.
Yeah, just like, okay, whatever.
To dedicate the time to.
That's part of it. That's definitely part of it. Because I think I was trying to answer your question on the specific, but I'm like, yo, I don't really know. Because if anybody says anything too crazy or even just annoying, I'm like,
right.
I don't fuck with you. Like, you immediately like, I don't really fuck with you enough to like argue with you. Like,
right.
It'll make you raise your eyebrow, but it's like, yo, you're a peon anyway.
Yeah.
Peasants. Like, just like,
go walk in traffic.
that's good. Peon's good.
One time for peon.
So annoying. Just so annoying.
Nah, one thing probably when I reviewed that question, at least I tried to think for like 2 seconds. Probably mostly, you know, amongst black folk, like skin tone jokes or whatever. So y'all can't see me, but I'm light skin, right? So, you know, when you're younger or everybody's trying to be woke or whatever bullshit now. So, you know, you got like a light skin joke. I remember I was at the Waffle House in Atlanta, and the lady, I was being nice to the lady, I guess, and she gave me more orange juice. All my friends started hating on me. She was like, oh, you're light skin, orange juice. I'm like, that's. If you really dig deep and try to tap it, you know, that perpetuates like this like self-hate thing amongst like the black race and all this blah 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 type shit. So, you know, nowadays I would roll it off the same way, but I would probably try to parry it back a bit.
I low-key remember something now. I mean, I know y'all can't see listeners, but I'm on my hair journey right now. So
I like it.
You're on camera.
I like it.
On my hair journey. Yeah. So, but like, all I think about is how much shit I got from growing my hair, like
Really?
from like black people. Like, it's just like, yo, you grow your hair. Like, my uncle, literally, my birthday was yesterday, and he like said to me, he's like, yo, you growing all that shit out? That shit is like, it's a mess and all this, and like women, like old people, like my grandmother, you know, like how terrible it is like to have hair this much above your head. Like, and it's like I don't know. That goes back to the whole like self-hate shit, but like I just like let me live.
Right.
Like,
I feel like sometimes people don't know when they're being offensive.
No, for sure.
I realize that a lot. Like,
Majority
people
of the
say
time.
shit sometimes. You're like, do you know how fucking offensive that is?
Because they are
like,
product of their environment.
Like, if I
So
wasn't
it's
who
all
I
learned
was,
behavior for them.
like if I wasn't who I was at this minute, I be wildin' sometimes. I probably would curse you out. Shut up. Don't start with me. We amongst mixed company, man.
right, you got it. When that camera cut off.
Shut up, don't. Let's not.
All right,
Okay.
all right.
Vixen, cut the tape. Cut the tape. All right, so Dave Chappelle had a New Year's Eve special. Or he's having
It's
one?
coming out.
It's coming up.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do y'all? Well, Steven is a fan of.
Oh, you're not a fan.
He's a fan of.
I know, but
You said it like you're not a fan too.
I mean, I don't be into it the way I guess other people would be into it. I enjoy him,
It's a
but I
man
mean,
shit.
I
Is
don't
it
know.
more? Yeah, is it more
Is
of
this
a
a man
masculine?
shit?
Is it more of a guy's like?
I don't think so.
considered that.
I don't think
Then
so.
again, I find
Yeah,
anybody
true.
that doesn't find Dave Chappelle to be like borderline serial killer. Like
That's very valid as well. But
Yeah.
I only,
When I was
I
in
only
high
think
school, the Dave
about-
Chappelle show was like I was thinking. in high school.
Okay,
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
So why you said it like I'm on the next level? Like I'm camping out waiting for them tickets to drop.
Some people are more passionate about certain things than I am. So I know you're a fan. I wouldn't call myself a fan.
Dang, is a fan not like much to say?
Yeah. Now I'm offended.
I think that's something that shifted too nowadays. Like, you don't want to call yourself a fan
Yeah,
of some
'cause that's-
people. You like, I don't want to get that crack.
No,
Yeah,
it's
'cause I
not-
think
no,
now-
it's not
yeah.
even, y'all digging way too deep. It's
No,
too
but
long.
that happens though. Like you call yourself a fan. Now fan is almost equated to like dick rider.
No, I just feel like because I don't keep up with it. Like I can't call myself a fan if I had no idea he had this going on.
That's fair.
Oh, respect.
Yeah, so if I don't know what the
I
fuck is
didn't know
going
either.
on, I won't call myself a fan. I didn't know. And then I'm not on social media, like Wednesday through like Sunday. I really don't know what the fuck is going on until my days off
I'm
from
like-
work and I catch up. So anything that happens during that time, I be like, I don't know. That happens a lot. But I don't know. Anyway, he has a special. Dave Chappelle is very offensive, I guess, at times. I think it's fucking hilarious. He says
Same.
things that I wish I could say, but I won't.
I've said it.
Stop.
Gotten in trouble
It's
for it.
like Steve, you saw the other ones that he just came out with on Netflix.
Yeah, I sort of. She saw it too.
You saw them?
Fan, secret fan.
Yeah, but he caught a lot of backlash for the rape joke.
That shit was the funniest thing. I make rape jokes all the time.
Really? Wait,
Wow. Okay.
wait. Vixen, cut the tape.
Andy, cut it. Okay. Keep it going.
Yeah.
Would you like to share one with us?
I wish I had a Men in Black pen, just like delete everything
say
that
rape
just
joke.
happened.
Do you have one that you could share with us? Because I don't
No.
recall you ever told me one. You've been holding out. You've been holding out on content.
She's afraid you're the PC police.
Right.
He's definitely
Find another
Nah,
partner.
I'm definitely not.
He's
I'm
definitely
definitely
not.
evil Kermit. Like, yo, you better
all the time.
say that shit in public.
All the time.
Let these
No, I
niggas
think-
know.
I think we've all made like Cosby jokes and stuff
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that.
that's a layup.
Like, you know, I feel like that's normal to do. Like, have like a little emoji I be sending to people whenever like
Because I
it's the
think,
Cosby
I don't
thing.
know. Maybe it's like,
Because it looks like Bill Cosby's face. It just looks creepy. Like, I'm being like, forget it.
Nah, I get it.
You got it,
Nah,
yo.
you got it.
you got it. But no, I'm starting to think like, is it more of like a racial thing? Because you know, in the black community, since we already starting with less, I mean, us joking on each other is kind of like, I don't know. I guess you hide away the pain.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like usually when the backlash comes, it's usually not from our community. It's usually from the other tone.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The other tone.
The other tone.
Sour cream people.
Wow.
Cut that shit.
I have white friends.
That's hilarious.
I have white friends.
That's the same thing when they say they have black friends.
That's why I said it. You see how offensive that was?
Right.
Maybe Dave Chappelle shouldn't do that.
Maybe you should be doing the opening for Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the thing, right? Because he's speaking through the veil of comedy, right? It's supposed to be, you know, this
He on
is
stage,
not as
yeah.
serious. It's for jokes and entertainment.
So do we think like is he gonna like hold back a little bit, or he's gonna be like, you know, I don't give a fuck, like it's all entertainment at the end.
He's
of the
not
day.
gonna give a fuck. Dave Chappelle never cares. That's why he made those jokes in the first place.
Yeah, I don't think he will. Nor
Well,
should.
but it's a different climate. Because remember when he was up and coming, we didn't have social media to constantly force feed, like, okay, this is what this person said.
Mhm.
And the special just came out, what, this year? Last
Mhm.
year?
Yeah,
So now he's
Spring.
facing that, you know, that backlash for the first time. So it may be different this time. He may hold back a little bit.
I
You
really
never
don't
know.
think so.
Because
I don't
back
think
in the
so.
day, it's like, okay, you may offend somebody, they just walking out the auditorium. He never has to face that again. Now it's like, okay, every time he's out and about or he's on social media, he probably has like 3,000, 10,000 comments of people saying, "Oh, I was offended by this," or "I was offended by that," or you know, the fucking
He knows his
trendy shit now is protests.
Has he?
I wouldn't be surprised if
Yo,
niggas is picking
like,
it in front of the fucking
remember
auditorium.
last year, like he did Saturday Night Live right after the election or whatever, and he said some shit like, "Oh, you know, let's give Trump a chance." Like he said that like being hopeful, whatever. But like apparently people gave him like mad shit like all year about that. So like I don't know. And he like was out there like,
there's a difference between you hearing it one time and then it's like everywhere you go for the rest of the like I said that shit last year and I'm still getting tormented by it. So he may hold back a little bit. You never know.
I don't think so.
I think this one is pre-recorded, if I understand it. So it maybe from a couple months ago. There's really no.
You don't want to do the wild flex? You want to just break out the guns?
Oh, well, go ahead.
Yeah, like we went to see him over the summer. Like he was in what's called Radio City Music Hall.
Yeah.
And it was like it was all cool. Like it was pretty much standard like jokes. It wasn't anything that felt kind of like he's trying to temper himself or whatever. So it felt pretty genuine. But like you don't know when the cut comes out.
Oh right, they try to
when they edit things.
They gonna dub over his words.
Yeah, or like when
you just gonna see his lips moving and not hear no audio.
Now it's a karate word. Now it's a karate word.
Yeah, or the Netflix dudes are like, they get the cut. They're like, no, can't have that. Like,
I hope they don't do that.
That betrays
trash.
It betrays the medium. This is not like politics or some type of public moral platform, right? This is just comedy, a fucking joke.
Just laughs.
When I've gone to more lower scale, just comedy clubs and whatnot, and nowadays, unfortunately, they have to have the MC or whatever. They give you a disclaimer before the show starts. It's funny, but like the first thing that they'll say is like, "Yo, this is a comedy show. It's fucking jokes. So calm down." And you're also not supposed to use your phone. I don't know.
People just wait to tweet like, "Yo,
right.
Bobby Smith said some
right."
wild shit.
And so they qualify it already out the gate. Like this is comedy. You can't be so sensitive in this type of environment. It's a bit different when Donald Trump is saying some crazy shit, but Dave Chappelle is a comedian. So the expectations.
Entertainment purposes only.
Right. Yeah.
Just laugh.
Yeah, just laugh.
Yeah.
And he's and also one thing I think that we kind of prefaced before was that it's not, most of his comedy is not like at the behest of like whoever the target is, trans community or whatever.
It's not
usually
distasteful.
Yeah, he's not like, oh fuck trans people or whatever the hell it is. It's more so him going through the paces of trying to understand it and him being a middle-aged man and seeing how the norms are changing and how he's supposed to respect or treat or talk about people differently and whatnot. And the awkwardness of his jokes is where the punches are and what makes it funny. It would be different if he was doing that at the expense.
Because like the whole thing that it was sort of backlash was rape, but it was also like the thing about
Imagine chuckle.
But not rape.
That shit was really funny.
But like it's just like the thing about I'm 45 and like Caitlyn Jenner was like, man, he was an Olympic hero when I was 10 and now he's
a grandmother.
Yeah, like it's just wild. Like how do I deal with that? It's not about making fun of them. It's about like, my whole world has changed. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's nuance, like anything, like your rape jokes or whatever. You gotta nuance.
That Cosby face is dumb funny on the emoji though. It's like the little moon face.
I'll never look at it the same.
He hasn't eaten Jello in years.
I know, right?
Jello.
Sorry guys, I thought it was funny.
Nah, blame Cosby for that.
Is there any jokes you feel like you can't laugh at? Like anything that you hear that you feel like, let me not laugh at that right now.
It's sad because all the time, but it's like, yo, that's funny. Like you just, it's like sometimes you're like, yo, but you know what? It's hilarious. Mm-hmm. Regardless if you laugh at it or not, you think it in your head about whether it's a thing. It's just
funny.
Yeah, if it's done well,
gotta let it loose.
Yeah, you have no choice but to laugh. I don't think I've ever heard anything that felt like bad or offended.
Cause you're mean, Steven.
This is true, but that's not the point, right?
So it's like that could be offensive.
You have white friends though, so.
My best friends are white.
I needed a meme just now. Mr. Krabs meme should have popped up.
Oh yeah, you surrounded.
So how did you guys feel about all these accusations. I'll call them accusations.
Nah, he did that shit.
Well, Louis K. He admitted to
Well,
it.
Yeah,
he said
Louis
he
C.K.
did.
admitted to it.
Admitted
Bill
to
is still fighting.
Yeah, Bill's
Yeah.
still fighting a good fight, apparently. But Louis K. Yeah, he had a whole write up admitting it, and he actually had probably the best apology out of a lot of these other public figures.
For what it's worth.
Yeah, for what it's worth.
So
Right.
was it just with women or boys? Men too?
Oh, okay.
What?
So like, basically, the thing about him is like,
let me explain this shit.
nah. It wasn't anything to do with like boys, but like he was like a famous comedian. Wrote, the classic Pootie Tang.
Classic.
So
Actually,
he was in a
again, I
position
say
where
the same.
like, other other comedians were admiring him and whatnot. And like when you're in comedy, a lot of shit people be like, yo, it's funny, like you just do shit because it's like funny. Oh, we're all jokes. But he was having like girls come meet with him, like other comedians, like, oh, I'm gonna come mentor you, and he'd be like, yo, take my dick out.
Masturbating.
Like he was just like, can I just like, jerk off in front of you, or like, it is just like, what? Like, what are you doing? But not even just like casually, like we're comedians and we're talking. Like he'd be like working on a show. It's like we're on a show. I'm a writer on a show, and then you are like trying to be on the show. You're a writer or you're an actress, and you like, yo, let me go talk to him and learn some shit. And he's like, yeah, so let me take my dick out. I was like,
Okay.
it's like
What?
So you there giving the idea.
Fucking sociopath.
You there giving the
That's-
idea. He's like, hold that thought. And he pulls his zipper down.
Oh my
casual,
gosh.
like,
And he
very
had the
casual.
best apology.
well, because he
Just
said he
messed
did
up.
it.
Yeah,
He did
Oh,
lie.
okay.
Like,
Yeah, he
Yeah,
said
he
he,
didn't lie.
took advantage of the
Situation.
power.
Power.
So.
But
Not
it's
to give him credit, but I'm just saying.
But like, as opposed to like, you talk about little boys like somebody like Spacey or like these other dudes, like it's a situation where people try to like let you slide because it's like, oh, it's wild, it's wacky, it's humor, like.
So since we brought that up, that's very disturbing. Do you think that men often use I guess comedy as a way to come on to women? I feel like they do. But like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, that was I said it wrong. My
But
bad, guys.
No, it's okay. You're not surrounded.
I don't know how to say it. Maybe you can explain it better.
You
If
said
you
it.
get like an offensive,
Yeah, like a dude will say some shit
Kind
that they
of
know is
way.
clearly offensive,
but they
But
say
in-
it anyway.
Yeah.
but they'll say it anyway, and then when they know they're not gonna get the proper response, it's like, oh, I'm just joking, or LOL, or shit like
But
that.
why do you think that is? Where does that come from?
Because comedy is like I would say
Icebreaker?
an icebreaker, a salve for kind of awkward situations, and allows you to say and do things that are usually awkward or inappropriate.
Mhm.
It gives you the opportunity to do that. So if a dude's trying to take a jump shot, he might do it as a joke, and if he fails, he'll be like, oh, I was just joking.
So when does that line become crossed?
Have you ever felt like that happened to you?
Yeah, it's
And you were like,
real,
yo, like that, or you're like, yo, that was
But
funny,
then, I'm sure that shit's happened to you.
and you're like,
Yeah.
Niggas be having no segue. It literally be like, oh, I just finished cooking. So about my penis.
Yeah, it'll be dumb shit like that. Or what are you doing? Oh, I just got in. I could rub your booty if you want me to. It'd be shit like that. I don't know.
A
It
dude
just
wrote
be
that,
like,
was laughing. He's like, yo, I'm gonna say it.
I'ma kill him with this
rubber,
one.
Rubber butt. Like, he was loving that.
Right.
send Cosby face emoji. That's probably.
I hope not.
Oh, God, Shake his head.
That's definitely part of it though, cause like I'm washed, and I've been in a relationship for a long time. But Tinder, like the amount of dudes that just send dick pics is just like why not? Like I'm gonna just do it. It's funny, ha. Like what you gonna do? I'm
Yeah.
gonna send it, ha. Like that's like part of it.
But why is that? Like, why is that okay? Like, how did that become normal?
Because niggas
just-
are savages.
To just do
They don't
that.
care.
Like, if I send her picture of my dick, she's definitely gonna say yes and take her out to Buffalo Wild Wings. Like some dumb shit like
Some
that.
of that is a shotgun theory, right? You just
spray it.
Spray it.
Yeah.
What's like when we get hit, you get hit.
No.
2 seconds. You never heard that shit?
No.
On Tinder, that's a
how
real
men,
thing.
like
That's how,
it's just like yo.
maybe not some lewd. That's like all the way at the end of the spectrum. But if a dude
With
goes
that-
to a party, he's gonna use basically the same lines to a lot of girls there or
Yeah.
on Tinder or what have you.
Steve, no, you like.
I am very selective.
Okay, so he doesn't have to abide by that. But some dudes like
Yeah,
telling you
some
something.
niggas just
It's a
don't
math-
care.
it's a math
It's,
equation.
it's all about playing the odds
Yeah,
game.
odds
It's
and
like,
numbers, man. Statistic.
And some dudes like being the funny dude is like, you know, that's the game. It's like, I'm yeah, girl.
Being a funny dude is okay.
And you
So
can
it
pick
gets
on
like
girls.
borderline like awkward and just annoying.
No, for sure.
But sometimes the shit don't even be funny, not be hella tight. Like for instance, it wasn't even I can't say who she is though because she's her daughter's a celebrity, so I can't say that. But someone's mom came into the salon a couple of days ago. Yeah, she came into my salon a couple of days ago. We're laughing, we're joking or whatever. And for I don't know what kind of energy I give off, maybe because I'm just like nice. But people always feel the need to like want to touch a little too much. So like as you know, we're talking and she's walking out the door. She was like, "Okay, I'll see you again," and she started like humping my butt. Like really, like giving me back shots.
Were you aroused?
No, I was not. I was offended. I was embarrassed, and I was just like, "Okay, stop playing. All right, yeah, see you later."
But
did she leave a tip?
She thought it was funny. She thought it was okay, and I don't know why people assume because someone is friendly or they're nice or whatever the personality, you can touch them, and that happens a lot, especially with women. Not so much with men.
That's because that whole playing gay thing became mad trendy with y'all.
But I don't like that. And if I'm not giving you that fucking vibe, like a client, like it's
I'm
like
just saying,
a client
I'm not
asked
saying
me.
you.
I know, but I'm
yeah.
saying a client asked me, you know, why I don't have any kids yet. And she was like, "That's what you have a vagina for." And she tapped my vagina. Like you don't even. But that's what you got a vagina for.
Did she do like a circular motion, or was it more like?
Shocker.
But like, that's women are like. We're talking about men. I didn't realize this is women. This is inside baseball. Like I don't know.
No.
You're operating like this.
Only because it's listed like the differences between men and women. How men use comedy to attract women, and then I don't know if gay men necessarily do that. I don't know if you guys ever been like approached.
Do you have like a special guest outside the door you want to bring in?
Come on in. No, I don't. No, I don't. But that's I just brought it up because people think it's funny to touch and grope, and because it's funny to them, it makes it okay. And I feel like that's where that line is crossed. Just because it's funny to you or somebody else thought it was fun or it was cute doesn't mean you can't go around doing it to other people.
Yeah, it's always on the party as being, you know, done to. I was having this funny convo the other day about all this sexual harassment shit happening, right, or being reported, and at the end of the day, it's always about the woman that feels aggrieved or harassed, right?
Right.
And a lot of these perpetrators, truthfully, are kind of weird or unattractive, particularly older men. It's really going to be something when, you know, somebody like Ryan Gosling or somebody like that is going to be part of a sexual harassment thing.
He do it.
Because women, like, it's never for the...
do it.
It's never for the handsome people,
he got Ava Mendes, right? And he gave her twins. He ain't do that shit.
Oh, no. Okay, that was just a random name.
No,
That's somebody. Like, I'm just saying, like, some handsome guy.
It'd be
Idris
somebody
Elba
like
or
that.
something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's at least as of now, doesn't really appear to be a thing. So it's really about how the woman feels. So dudes out here taking jump shots, they think some people like it, some don't.
This is a referendum on that because I feel like that's true. But like Cosby, bringing it back, he was doing this shit when he was like in his prime. Wasn't he doing like the 70s? Like, yo, I'm gonna let your company.
Spanish flying.
Yeah, like so I don't know. Like I don't know.
I'm talking about when they accuse him of it.
Yeah, I'm just saying like he was like I don't say he was a normal looking dude. Like it wasn't like
no, for sure.
I don't know. Maybe it's some,
Jason over here.
I don't want to put that on nobody to be next.
I'm saying statistically.
But when it comes to the, you know, kind of off track. When it comes to the Cosby thing, I just felt like if that shit happened mad long ago, like why are you talking about it now? A lot of times with a lot of the sexual harassment suits that's going on now, like why now? Like why are y'all talking about it now, not when it happened? I feel like it's become a trend now. Like everyone's been sexually assaulted, and now I definitely want to tell everybody.
I think because the collective is doing it, so it feels there's a permission mechanism now out there. Because what happened to a lot of these people, particularly women, was that they didn't have power in the situation. A lot of them were professionals or trying to, you know, do well in the industry. So what are you gonna do when Harvey Weinstein does some crazy shit, and then he threatens you, or y'all sign an NDA, you get a couple $100,000. And you just move on with the rest of your life, but then you gotta ball it up and put it, you know, in the back of your mind. But you know that it happened. So I think that's really the main thing.
I mean, a group thing too. Like if somebody else did it, it's easier for you to do it. Like come out and say, yo, you touched me too. Like
the threshold for you to do it is much lower when you see other people doing it. It's like a crowd type of thing. So
now it's just a wave. Like,
tidal wave.
What's my man from NBC?
Matt Lauer.
Yeah, he was wilding.
Yeah,
on the morning, like you doing a morning show. It's not even like the culture for that. Like you're a comedian or like
at least wait till noon.
But right, yeah, but like if you
happy hour.
you know, I'm sure more wild stuff happens at like people that work at clubs than working at breakfast restaurants. You know, like it's just that's wild shit.
Yeah, it's definitely a prevalent subculture of this that people are just now seeing. Shout out to the president.
No, girl,
I just hope everybody notices that a majority of them have been white, older men.
Race.
Well, it has
I'm just saying.
An accusation about Russell Simmons.
Yeah, he did kind of. Yeah, he definitely.
But you know what? I feel
if he was in a different position in his career, I think it would have got a whole lot more pub. Because I think they was waiting for one of us to get caught up.
I don't know.
Like if let's say if it was like a Jay-Z or a Drake, if it was like a Jay-Z,
but they didn't do it though.
Yeah, but I'm saying if
I don't care.
I'm saying if he was in a different position, it would have been a whole lot more news covered about it.
Yo,
because he kind of like it happened and then he just stepped back.
Yo,
and
Russell, he did that shit. I don't know.
But
like yo, just cause like the Kimura thing is like yo, he mad scooped her.
Yeah.
Way young,
he lets it be known he's always like younger women.
I think it's just way too early for any of us to try to like guess or cover and say, speculate or this group, but like this shit is gonna go for a minute, son. Every other day is somebody. Yeah,
I hope it's
being
not
accused.
No, like, everybody cool. Like I hope it's, you said Drake. You don't know
who. You never
next.
know.
You don't know who's next.
Mount Orby would never.
Matt Lauer. That shit was like Matt Lauer. The fuck the dude from the Good Morning America thing.
He looks a little creepy. He looks a little rapey.
Everybody looks a little rapey when
a
it
smidge.
Then
you see the old photos, like, yo, look at him.
Had his eyes, I see it.
Yeah, Louis C.K. had all these masturbation.
Yo, he had flagrant like jerking off jokes. So now like,
seriously.
Yeah, kind of all comes.
He had to let it out. He's like, I had to let it out somehow.
Literally.
I'm a dirt.
Well, I brought that up because when someone told me about Russell Simmons, I was like, well, he makes, jokes and stuff like that all the time. So I don't see why you would be surprised that
I wasn't surprised
that would happen. I'm like, and like you said, he likes younger women.
Mm-hmm.
He's very blunt.
Yeah. He looks like the overly aggressive
with
type.
His shit. So not defending him in any kind of way because I've been in positions where I have been assaulted, a few occasions, but I kind of feel like they wanted something out of it, if that's bad to say.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It's like, you know who Russell Simmons is. You're working for him. You know he likes younger women. A lot of these women throw their ass at him all the time. So in his head, it's kind of like, well, these bitches,
they giving it up.
They giving it up. So how do I know you're going to be the one that don't want to?
What? Like,
and I feel
accused? Like, I know people said like, but like nothing like legal, right?
Well, I think from the standpoint, it's actually like a colleague of his that somebody he used to work with. There was allegations against that colleague, and then they basically said like Russell was part of it too. Like they would.
Yeah, Brett Ratner.
Yeah.
And then another comedian, Amanda Sales, she actually said that she said something like a while ago about how someone in power, a man in power, offered her sex. So when all of this stuff came out, she said, remember when I told you about the guy in power who, offered me sex, etc., whatever the case may be? And she showed that old, I guess it was like a Snapchat or IG story of her talking about it. She was like, yeah, well, that guy was actually Russell Simmons. So that's how I feel about it. I was like, ooh.
Is he even her type?
It doesn't matter if someone... See, that's the thing that people do. Like, oh, you're not that person's type. I may not be a lot of person's type.
No, I'm not saying that she's not... It's
that
not true.
someone wouldn't try to do something. So you can't say that.
I don't know.
When it comes to Russell, pussy is pussy. He says it all the time. He don't care.
Well, yeah. I haven't seen enough Russell information or footage to know that. That's why I was when you just said it, I was like, oh, okay.
You made it sound like I don't know about Russell's history.
Yeah, I don't know Russell.
Yeah, pussy is pussy. You swipe.
No, because you know what? I used to watch a lot of reality TV with Run's House and stuff, and he was on it all the time. He used to say shit all the time, and then Run would be like, Russell, you can't say that. And he's like, fuck, he's like, you do yoga. You over here saying this crazy stuff, talking about, oh, Russell, look at my look at my wife's titties, don't look good in the picture. Like, he would say stuff like that.
Casually.
Very casually. Like, it's nothing, in his head, there's nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying?
What 50 said on Power? If they said he did that shit, he did that shit.
He did it.
Yeah. Well,
So, do you think at times women, probably y'all guys are men, but we could get your opinion anyway. Women let things slide when it comes to offensive, let's pick up lines like you said, jokes, because they're more afraid, or
I think it depends on the environment it's in. If it's like where you're being approached by somebody and you by yourself, then you probably just let it slide, because you know you may be in fear of like, okay, if I don't respond the proper way, something may happen. But I know plenty of times niggas slide in the DMs and he say some wild shit. Screenshot.
I screenshot shit all the time and send this thing in the Vic snap. Like, look at this shit.
Yeah, so it's definitely, it all depends on like the environment that it's in. If it's something more in person, then it all depends. Like, is people around? Is she by herself?
Have
like,
you guys ever said anything offensively
What?
to a woman?
Me?
No.
they
Where's
went
my
to,
lawyer?
They went to Morehouse.
Mr.
Where's my
Krabs
lawyer?
me.
I'm an upstanding.
Oh yeah, you got me. Mr. Krabs is right here.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Do
not
that
to my
right out
knowledge,
there.
but I don't know. What do you think?
I think most men do. I think most men say shit that's offensive towards women, and they laugh it off because in their head, like, they don't see anything wrong with it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, sure.
Probably.
Then of course, then
I would
yeah,
say-
everybody said something
Let
offensive.
me
It
try
all
to be
depends
real.
on like in which avenue.
Yeah, Brandon's
Like,
about to
is
put he's about to put himself out there.
I'll put myself out there. Yeah. This is gonna be the quote. Nah, I mean, I think not towards women. I think that dudes will say shit though among ourselves that could be like wild, flagrant. Just
Yeah.
people will say
Okay.
shit, even if it like,
Yeah.
even if it's not you and it's like your boy or somebody that's like an associate, and they'll say some shit. You be like,
Yeah,
yo,
definitely have had homies
like
make
my guy, like that's
yeah,
above and beyond.
yeah, rapey jokes or like
And you're like, he's
graphic shit. Like,
Yeah,
dog.
that's Reggie though. So
Yeah, don't tell any girl
Start
that shit.
making
son.
excuses.
That's just weird.
right, so it's like, yeah, don't bring that out. Cause then it's like, yo, if we're out and you say shit like that, like, yo, like that's your boy, like,
Yeah.
and you Mr. Krabs me.
Yeah.
Because it'd be mad awkward when you find your boy on fucking 9 o'clock news because he did some wild shit.
Your homies.
I'm like, I just went to the club with him the other day.
Right, yeah, all Harvey Weinstein homies. Like, I don't know where they stand now, and there's like kind of other journalistic investigations into them as well, because you have to imagine people know and people knew, right? Like of his behavior and comments. So yeah, you don't want to be. Try not to perpetuate that. I would say,
Yeah.
being upstanding young men.
But I don't think we don't hold men accountable also. We
Nah,
got
for sure.
that.
Part of it is like, what does that mean? Like, how do you do that? Cause it's like, yo, dog, you don't do that, man. And then like he just like, all right, well, I'm just keep doing it, not around you. Like,
It's like fuck you,
I don't know what that like. Maybe out in the world, maybe somebody should be making a stand out in the media, but that 1-to-1 level, I don't really know. Maybe that'll hurt him. Like inside, he'll be like, yeah, I need to, change. Like, I don't know.
I'd say you lead by example, and I get what you're saying, but as I've said, I had homies that talk like that or say just
Wild shit.
Yeah, wild shit, and you at least try to police it or show that it's not cool, right? I mean, they're gonna do whatever they're gonna do, just like what we're saying, but you don't want to perpetuate it or to act like
Can't let it.
yeah,
Yeah.
let it
be like it's okay, so they don't say it
Yeah.
again around other people.
right, or act like it wasn't acknowledged, or somebody didn't notice that you just said some crazy shit. In short, like because people are gonna do whatever they would like to do. They have their own motivations and urges. So best you can do is
If you said it, then you're not legally liable. Like, yo, I told him.
Yeah,
I told him just don't do it.
don't let shit is gross. Like, don't put Molly on
Don't put it back on me. Yeah, like shit like that. Like you listened to that. Ross was yo, put Molly on champagne. Like yo, you in the studio making that, and everybody was like, yo, that shit is like
fire.
That's
just
fire.
Yeah,
We gonna kill him with this one.
Me and the homies we were what, juniors or seniors on spring break when that shit had came out, and we loved that song. That song is fire. Anyway, you ain't know, crazy. But first time it came on, we were like, is this Niggas talking about date raping girls in the song. Like, that shit is not hot.
It's just not cool.
Yeah, like, you should have sent them an email or something. But it was
No,
Wrong.
send me an email.
But then,
Ask for
okay.
last email.
So then, okay, since y'all brought that up, do you think like entertainers get like an asterisk? Like, it's only for entertainment purposes. Same thing with comedians. If they're saying something, it's only for entertainment purposes. I'm not telling you. I tell you, Future talk about sipping lean all the time.
Right.
I'm not telling you to go sip lean.
Didn't he say some shit like, I don't do that shit? Didn't he say like a quote?
Oh, like he doesn't even do it.
Yeah,
as
he
much?
doesn't.
Yeah,
So don't.
yeah,
Do you think they should get like a pass per se? Because another example was like I think J. Cole had a freestyle. He rhymed something with like retarded, and then he caught mad flack for that as well.
Or Rich Homie Quan talking about raping women. Y'all remember that?
He had a song like
Bro,
that. Like, yeah.
a lot of bitches in here. I'm gonna rape one of them. Literally said
See,
that.
Oh my
he
gosh.
wildin'. He wildin'.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I didn't make that
Vixen is
up.
like, what?
Everybody's
Yeah,
looking like, what the
yeah.
fuck? I'm serious. I'm not making that
Google
up.
it. Put that in the background.
Put that in the notes. Yeah. Nah. A pass is not the right word.
It's levy levels.
It's definitely levels, and like I tried to abstain from R. Kelly and Chris Brown music just because I object to what they do with, like, you know what I mean. So as I said, you can only be responsible for yourself and try to mold your environment, people around you. Like, yo, you know this nigga's a pedophile, or you know Rick Ross talked about date raping the joint. I mean, he got a lot of flack for that as well. So I guess we do have a mechanism nowadays with social media, and it's much quicker to where people can, the collective can make their voice known for better or worse. So I don't really think that's much of a pass, but it does get a little bit more convoluted when we talk about like Future
And like rape and shit.
Drug
Like you
use.
can talk about drug use and talk about people
that's
shooting
true.
people, and it's like, I mean, I guess we would know, like, to a
Yeah,
certain,
if he
certain,
actually shot
certain
somebody.
extent.
Yeah.
Like, but when you live in a lifestyle with a lot of women around and stuff like that, and you're like casually talking about like rape, like that's I can't pull that one off. I don't know if you pull that one
The
off.
dynamics is a bit different.
I should
would
stop
say.
with those jokes.
You're not rapping.
Oh, you're not wrong.
You're
You're
not.
Yeah, I
I
would
don't know
I
why
can't
you
hear
lying.
you. You're not on
I don't know
tour.
why you lying to yourself. I don't know why you lying to me.
Just don't rap about it and put it in a song. Like,
Word, don't put it on the beat.
yeah, I'm date raping joints.
Just acapella.
No. On
Yeah.
my Snapchat.
Yeah,
That
it's
deletes
all
in 24 hours. That's not that bad.
There's
They
probably
can
an
find
app.
it. They can find
There's
it.
probably an
They
app to
can find
download it.
They don't even think that.
That's all in a server somewhere in California.
They just waiting for you to blow up, and then they can just throw you right, throw it right out there.
Can never
Endorsing
forget. On that 9/11 shit, never forget.
October 25th, 2007. Like, you got all your stuff. Timestamps.
Straight up.
I guess I gotta be more careful.
As
on
long as
what
you
I say.
monetize it, that's all that matters.
Now
You
you
fight the
want me
case.
to stop it.
Yeah. If
So I
you,
guess.
oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, if you mean it, just say it. If you don't mean it, I don't know. Sometimes you gotta deal with the consequences.
I think people say a lot of shit they don't mean, especially in entertainment.
Yeah,
They say a lot of shit just because it's someone else out there who's gonna like it because they can relate no matter how fucked up it is.
for sure.
True.
So I think
Shitty.
Look at Eminem and all the shit he said in the past, killing his mom and all this wild shit.
Yeah.
yo, he's crazy.
He's right.
Sour cream.
That's
Oh man.
problematic. Like,
Very problematic in general.
You about
So
to get kicked off of all the platforms.
there's that. There's that. I'll still find a way to make money.
First Amendment.
That's all right.
This is true.
So we have any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I don't care. Just say what you want. As long as you're not being like overtly offensive, like you're.
Wait, you talking to me?
No, I'm just speaking.
Yo,
No.
it looked like you were talking
He
about
was
it,
not
honestly.
aggressive just now,
Yeah.
like first
I think he was
floor.
holding that in. He was like,
He
yo,
was.
tired of all this piece of shit. Let y'all know.
No, I just think people just like in general. It's like yo, because I think people have become way too opinionated about shit they probably didn't even care about prior.
Valid.
Now that you have access to all of these things, now people have an opinion about everything, and it just reached the point where it's like, yo, people just gotta say what they want. As long as you're not being overtly offensive, like you're literally making an effort to hurt somebody's feelings, like just speak whatever comes to mind.
And an addendum to that, everybody's opinion don't matter. Sometimes
This
that's
is
like
true.
people be saying shit like, yo, like, why you quoted this person? Like, so what? I don't care if they're mad. They're offended, but they're wrong. So whatever. Let's move on.
Yeah, there's definitely a bit of that, like voluntarily engaging and
Yeah,
being
like
upset or something, because you don't
Yeah,
have
you're
to
like
follow
submitting
or,
your feelings.
Yeah, you don't have to follow or listen or watch, these characters on social media. or in
Trump
public.
says wild shit every fucking hour.
Right.
I have no idea what he says.
And that's
Because I don't pay,
Neither,
I don't
and
pay
your
attention
life,
to it.
and your life is probably better for that, for sure. So.
Well, yes, that's it.
Yeah.
This was fun. I like you guys. Thanks for
we
coming.
like
you
it.
too.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all.
Wait, where? Because I don't know anything that's going on at the moment. Where you guys from? Like, you guys are in New York? Did y'all drive from, like, Jersey?
Oh, no.
Sometimes we have guests who come
Came
from
right over the
Jersey.
bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's cute.
Gentrified Brooklyn.
Yep.
Bed-Stuy?
Oh no, I'm in Flatbush.
He
Yeah,
said,
I'm
nah.
probably nice. I'm probably nice.
It's getting there.
Oh yeah, nah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's getting there.
And what, you say you're in Bed-Stuy?
Prospect Heights.
Oh,
I was living in Best Side though. It's gentrified over there too.
okay. Okay, that's cute.
So
All right,
pretty.
guys.
It's coming.
Hold on, how about you guys? Before we,
I know you. I mean,
Bed-Stuy.
that's your show.
just
People might know you already.
I'm
but-
from, I live in Harlem.
oh,
Why you
Because I was waiting for you to say
I have
something.
nothing to say about Harlem.
Alright.
Harlem has
So
done
far.
nothing but wonderful things and contributed to the Cameron and Mace beat. So there's that.
Yeah,
yes,
that's true.
our favorite uncles. Argue amongst each other.
That is so
Nobody knows what.
I'm not.
Does
bringing
anybody
nothing.
even, I don't know if anybody in Harlem even cares about Mr. Cameron, really, honestly.
If Harlem doesn't care, the rest of the planet doesn't care. So
Pretty much.
Well,
we can end on that.
And there you have it.
there you have it.
Breaking news.
No, but I lived in Brooklyn for a while, then I moved to Harlem. But I don't live that far in Harlem. I live
Okay,
at the
Harlem is
beginning.
like, I feel like going up the train up there, I just feel like I'm going to, I don't know, Cambodia. It's mad far. Like, it's just like, I'm going to journey.
That's how I feel about the Bronx.
Yo.
Nobody goes
In
to
the
the
Bronx.
Bronx.
Yeah, that's like,
Nobody goes to the Bronx. The Bronx is like Staten Island. Like, who goes there on purpose?
At least you don't have to take the ferry. Right?
Staten Island.
yeah, you gotta get a boat. Like,
Yeah, you gotta take a boat to this shit.
Y'all a whole dub. How your whole island is a dub.
I don't know how. They violated though. They ain't even built a train tunnel to get to the. In all
No.
these years, all the.
Nah.
Not too far.
It's like not too far.
Y'all can say it right there.
Somebody tell you they from Staten Island, you just immediately say,
Like,
I'm
simmer
sorry.
down.
I'm sorry. You didn't have to live like this.
Like, so what do you guys do there? You start asking those kind of
Word, there's no reason to go to Staten Island.
Hold up, I heard that they're doing a lot of development. They're building like a shopping complex and a small amusement park or something.
They are, like, right up the ferry. It should be, like, some kind of amusement.
Are they
park.
gonna
Yeah,
build some
but
kind of like fake
Ferris
monument to
wheel.
make people come there? Like the Staten Island Circle, just so people would come there, like the biggest ball of yarn. Oh wow, I'm go there.
Shout out to the biggest piece of yarn of all time.
No way.
We gotta see the ball of yarn. Let's go to Staten
And
Island.
then the Wu Tang Museum.
Oh yeah, Wu Tang Museum.
Oh,
There you
that'd
go.
be kind of dope.
That'd be kind of fire though.
Nah,
Like,
that's gonna be too many black people on Staten Island. Cause you
It's
know,
not
it's like
black
that
people.
that borderline. No, it's like that. Cause I went to college out there. So
I'm
It's
offended.
it's like a real big borderline between that. You see, like
Yeah, it's
the
Trump
black
country.
people, and then you have like
Yeah, Richmond County.
the South Korean people. It's like that. You can tell the difference. When you first get off the boat, that's where you'll find mostly all the black people. When you first get off the boat,
Oh,
that
yeah.
sounds kind of bad.
once you go into the
But then
jungle,
once you go further in,
It's all
you know,
all the firefighters and police officers.
sprinkle, decided to sprinkle
For
out
a
little
show
bit.
that was supposed to be about offensiveness, we were offensive all throughout.
Well,
We ain't give no pointers. Like, nah,
Hey, man.
we ain't help
oh, we
nobody.
gotta check your man. So let's go with. Like, check your man. Like, let him know. Like, that's good. That's something. That's a
But
nice
we don't really check them. We be like, nigga, you wildin', and then that's it.
That's it. That's it. That's
These,
all
wi-
nice.
these wings is banging though.
Sorry,
Transition.
Yo, you gotta chill.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
So I guess tell everybody where they could tune into the show.
Man, appreciate that.
Oh yeah, so 2 in the bottle, the number 2 and the bottle. We're on SoundCloud, Stitcher, iTunes podcast app. We're also on a Brick Free Speech Radio, Brooklyn Free Speech Radio. We try to get public access there too, and Facebook, Twitter. Find us, making more fire shit all the time. Is that it? We got everything.
do you guys leave out your personal handles or no?
Oh, why not? Mine is _ Brandon Allen. You can hit me if you want to.
Yeah, the underscore in the front.
Yeah,
Somebody else
it's
had
tragic.
Brandon
It's
Allen?
tragic. It's tragic. It happened.
You had to ask you that, like, nigga,
I mean,
what?
I just acknowledge that.
Yeah.
That's real internet real estate.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
people
hard.
buy up web domains and shit.
I
Yeah.
can't ball out like what Andre Iguodala's agent bought him Dre just on Twitter. Bought it for
Wow.
him.
James Comey just got at Comey.
How
Like,
much?
that's fire. Nah, I don't know. That shit just ill though.
Comey.
Alright. Nah, I'm Comey. Yeah, that is. Yeah. Nah, I'm at DJ236. if you guys want to follow. I mean, I'm not too active, honestly, but
You want the political articles on it?
yeah, I put up mad articles and shit. That's about it. Fuck with your boy.
Well, our listeners are pretty smart. I think they like to read.
I read some stuff.
Steven said that, not me. I be having y'all back.
I don't want to say anything to offend anybody right now.
He's gonna say that shit off air though.
Facts.
Horrible
Really?
person. Okay, evil Kermit. Well, I just want to say thank you to I guess for stopping by.
Yes,
It was
thank you
lots
again.
and lots of fun. Thanks for reaching out. You guys actually emailed us, right?
Yes.
They emailed
Yes.
us. See you guys, we do answer emails.
Yes.
Well, Steven answers them, and then he send it to me, and then I text him back. That's how it works. To be honest,
That's a good
how.
system. Shit.
That's
You're
how
like
it works.
you're like the middleman that doesn't do anything.
No, I see it pop up on my phone and be like, what? Huh. And I keep doing whatever I'm doing.
Okay, so you can email me. But yeah, we want to appreciate y'all for coming through. They can catch us on iTunes, well, Apple Podcasts now, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play. We're on Instagram, Facebook. We have our own website, and yeah, we'll tune into next week.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Sophisticated Ignorance. I am Nieema Simone.
I'm Steven.
Bye.